Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. From Timcast.com. New York attorneys say Manhattan DA's case against Trump is flimsy. Wah, wah. Legally, it's a weak case, said one former criminal defense attorney. As you can see in the upper right-hand corner of the video here, I did my thumbnail. I'm surprised Trump hasn't picked up on this, where I called them Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's amazing. Let's read on. As speculation continues, I can do it in my PBS voice. As speculation continues over whether Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg will indict former President Trump over an alleged payment to keep an adult film star. They didn't put porno, that's funny. A number of attorneys in New York, where Democrat voters outnumber Republicans by more than double, say the case is extraordinarily weak. So they've got, I would say, a good 70 to 80% of New Yorkers in Manhattan hate Trump's guts. And they can't find a grand jury that will indict. This case is a joke, frankly, and I've litigated against that office for 33 years. Longtime New York criminal defense attorney Jeffrey Lichman told Rolling Stone, I don't think that case is winnable. Well, first of all, the statute of limitations, let's just start there. My understanding has long expired, and Alan Dershowitz said the only exception in New York State Code, the statute of limitations, if the person that you're investigating can't be found. And Alan Dershowitz, who I wouldn't exactly call a comedian, said, what are you talking about? You couldn't find him. He was sitting in the Oval Office, and the audience laughed. According to the publication, some legal experts who are anti-Trump do not believe Bragg is building a solid case for prosecuting the 45th president. Prosecutors are seeking to convince a grand jury that if the $130,000 payment was made to actress Stormy Daniels by Trump's then-attorney Michael Cohen, it would constitute an illegal business practice. Further complicating Bragg's case is a newly resurfaced letter from Cohen's legal counsel telling the Federal Election Commission that Cohen used his own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Daniels. The letter added, neither the Trump Organization nor the Trump campaign was a part of the transaction with Ms. Clifford, and neither reimbursed Mr. Cohen for the payment directly or indirectly. Well, the funny part is, my understanding, a letter has appeared from Stormy Daniels herself, saying that she never had relations with President Trump, and that $130,000 was not hush money. So I don't know what the hell's going on. The letter added, neither the Trump Organization or the Trump campaign was part of the transaction with Ms. Clifford. Yeah. Randy Zellin, an adjunct professor at Cornell, well, so he's got to be an ultra-liberal, who has been a criminal defense attorney for 32 years and has worked as a prosecutor, told the Rolling Stone the case is flimsy. What do they do in Alvin and the Chipmunks? You older guys remember? When things got really crazy, the guy would go, Alvin! Well, Alvin, you messed up, buddy. I do not believe, based on about what we know, that the felony charge will stick. How can a state prosecutor, Manhattan District Attorney, say you broke a federal law, so we're prosecuting you? When the Fed said no, even the DOJ, a large part, hate Trump's guts. The Federal Election Commission also said there's nothing there that's unlawful or illegal. But you can pull a federal case that's a misdemeanor at best and turn into a felony at the state level is beyond me, and I'm not a lawyer. I do not believe, based on what we know, the felony charge will stick, said Zellin, who is not a Trump supporter. That's a nice way of saying I hate Trump's guts. I think the district attorney's office in New York County is running a great risk of diluting the strength of other potential cases brought by other prosecutors, because this is a weak case legally. It is a weak case. Now, here's my 2 cents. This is just my opinion. I think that Alvin Bragg was pushed by the big shot Democrats, especially progressives in Washington and other places, to go after Trump, go after Trump, go after Trump, go after Trump. No matter what it costs, Make it happen. So he did it. It didn't take much pushing because he hates Trump anyway. That's how he won. His campaign slogan was basically, I'll get Trump, and he was elected. Okay. So he did what they wanted. He did what the big shots Democrats wanted. And when they found out the case was falling apart and Trump raised $1.5 million over the weekend, and things are starting, his poll numbers are going up, and the Democrats look like idiots. They called him up and said, stop. Which left Alvin Bragg holding the bag. It's just amazing to me. Democrats, they stick together. It's funny, but they're never loyal when things go wrong. Particularly, there's really more or less a victimless crime, unless you believe the election was truly influenced by the fact that people didn't know about hush money payments, which is really rich because it costs zero money, well, at least what we know of, to keep the Hunter Biden laptop story from breaking and all the social media and most of cable news. That wasn't election interference. Oh, okay. And with all the stuff that he said, does anyone really believe that if it got out that he paid Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, that it would have changed the election? Probably not. Maybe 40 years ago it might have, but when it's Trump, nobody cares. Peter Brill, another anti-Trump attorney, raised similar concerns. I think that the basis for the felony linking to a campaign finance declaration, it's a strange way to get an indictment, especially in a falsifying business record situation. This often charges a misdemeanor at best. I should say at the highest level. On the other hand, the facts seem fairly damning, but the foundation that they build on is weaker than I would hope for in the first criminal indictment or criminal charge against Trump. That's ridiculous. The facts aren't fairly damning. The attorneys in the magazine interviewed are part of a growing chorus of Trump detractors who are openly expressing concerns about the viability of the Manhattan DA's case. I live in upstate New York, so this is my senator, and I say that with no pride. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who repeatedly called for Trump's impeachment and removal from office, refused to say if he had confidence in Bragg, telling reporters only, look, the bottom line is, as I said, it's premature to comment on what's happening, and we'll have to wait and see what he does. Yeah, because they already told him to stop, and then they threw Bragg under the bus. He'll be the scapegoat, and they'll just get some other chump to do their dirty work for him. Former prosecutor Elliot Feelig, speaking on a potential indictment, told the Washington Examiner, to call it a novel prosecution would be an understatement. I've never seen anything like this in a state courtroom. They use a federal election law as a means to upgrade a state charge to a felony. I am not aware of any prior prosecution that basically does that. And lawyers and judges love precedent. Well, there you have it. Alvin and the Chipmunks being the Democrats, they have screwed the pooch, as the old Tuts Palace used to say. Trump's poll numbers went up. He's probably raised close to over $2 million now since then. He's got people that didn't like him feeling bad for him and saying this is wrong. You know what? Here's the thing. I did a video on the president of Mexico saying that they want to keep Trump off the ballot, not let the American people, citizens, decide who the representatives are. And he's right. They keep saying, wow, we beat Trump before, we'll beat him again. Well, okay. If you're so convinced that he's so bad, he'll never, ever be able to win the Electoral College in a presidential election, what is all this for? Why? Because they have no bench. They have nobody. Positive or negative, Trump is the most spoken name in American politics and in the world. Of Americans today, Trump and Barack Obama are probably the two that are best known in the world, for good or bad. It's just, bad publicity is better than none. What are they going to learn? Put their time and efforts into trying to beat Trump. But they can't do that because they want their game rigged because they have nobody to run. Biden's not going to do it, and they don't want Kamala Harris. Who do they have left? A couple of governors, maybe Gavin Newsom. It's amazing to me. They have no one. Now, my particular opinion is Jeffries, the minority leader in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, is going to be their golden boy. Watch and see. But that's just guessing on my part. So again, Alvin and the Chipmunks screw up. And as he used to say in the cartoons, Alvin. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.